So here's the little motor. Took me a while to get all the screws out. One screw in particular took just over an hour. People said, get an impact driver. I had an impact driver. I broke it. I broke it on this little tiny motor. So anyway, I bought another impact driver. Changing all the JIS screws, Japanese industry standard screws, which have a slightly different profile to Phillips head screws. If you're trying to work on a Honda motor, you really need the JIS screwdrivers, or you need to change your bolts to socket head or hex head, or something other than the JIS. So we spent a lot of time, a whole day in fact, just getting all the screws out so we can split the casing later. I really want to tear this little engine, motor, whatever you want to call it, piece of machinery. I think they're an engineering marvel actually, because they've got a clutch and a gearbox, and it's a centrifugal clutch, so it's really good for beginner riders. I rode one of these, a QA50 in 1970 when they first come out. That was awesome. I think that's what got me hooked. In 1975, I think it was the end of 75, I got a Honda XL175. That was a big jump. I had to use a clutch and it was much higher, and yeah. But anyway, I like Hondas. It's got some good engineering. The only thing I don't like about them is those stupid JIS screws that chemically weld themselves into the block. Like I said, 1 hour to take one screw out. And plus I broke an impact driver. It's the first time I've ever broken an impact driver. So the whole thing, not just the tip, I'm talking the impact driver, the actual body of it. Something inside let go and it was just doing random left, right, right, left sort of movements. But yeah, that's the progress so far. Some of my polishing gear that I'll be using, wire brushes, flap wheels and little polishing wheels. I use them in a drill. And here's one of my favourite tools for working on motorbikes. A little Azito, it's like a Dremel, a little rotary engraver, I suppose you'd call it. And you get all these little stones and polish and stuff, and yeah. There's my main buffer wire wheel that I use for polishing and cleaning parts up. And there's a spare casing. Now this has got a story, this casing. Somebody who pulled this apart, we just go down here, and what have we got? They've cut the wires. Who does that? Who does that? I've got to take the wires off this one, the magneto portion of the stator. You might as well call this part here your alternator for your charging system, and these two coils power your CDI for your spark. That's open circuit. This is beautiful, but if we can just get close enough, can we? Yeah. See, there's a bit of damage to the outside insulation. I've tested it out. There's still continuity. It's still good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of an epoxy resin over there, something like JB Weld, just to protect that exposed winding. It shouldn't be necessary, but you never know. Get back into focus. So, yeah. I'm going to swap the wires from this one to this one here. So that's a good stator core, but like I said, somebody's got all over enthusiastic and chopped the wires. No need to do it. It unplugs, you pull the grommet out, and you can take the piece out in one piece. And if you want, if your coil dies, you can replace that coil separately. You just got to solder it. No, I have to solder. This one here goes all the way through up to here. What is that? That's red and black, which is that one, and a blue wire, which is, so it's those two there. Is it? I'll just double check that. Oh, it looks like it is. I can't see the yellow stripe down this end. Maybe it's hidden. Anyway, I'm not going to... yeah, it is. The yellow stripe's hidden. But anyway, that's our progress for the moment. We're nearly at the stage of where we're going to pull it all apart. I've got to repair this stator. This stator's for another bike, for my Project Posty bike. It's not going to be a high performance thing. It's going to be a wanderer. Not sort of a cross between an adventure bike and a road bike, built for long distance trips, built for a little bit of off-road, nothing too rough, medium load carrying capacity, but mainly built for long range and hassle-free riding experience, where you're not stopping every 5 minutes trying to fix your bike. Everything will be like new on it. I'll be carrying a few spares. I won't be carrying a spare rotor, but or stator. I will be carrying a spare CDI, spare flasher unit, just for legal requirements, and a spare rectifier. I'm renewing the loom. I'm putting a whole brand new loom in, because the previous owners of the bike had way too many chops and joins, and the whole wiring was just degraded. Yeah, so we'll go back to the little motor. You can see I've cleaned most of it. We're getting it almost ready to pull apart. We can see in there. Yeah. It's nearly clean enough to work on it. It's a filthy little motor, this one. Oil leaks everywhere. Gonna have to replace the seals, gaskets. I'll be stripping the motor right down, including splitting the case, getting the crankshaft out, and measuring all the slop and play, you know, backlash, whatever you want to call it, on the crank. If I have to, I'll split the crank and change the bearings and conrod. But yeah, it's a little fun little project, and I'm not as fast as a lot of these YouTubers. I take my time, and I have to go to work. So these things, this could take me a week or two to do. We'll see how we go. Thanks for viewing. If you like it or want to see more, subscribe, because I'll be pumping out a few videos on this. I'm going to make some interesting mods to this engine after it's all finished and renewed and back together again. And I'll be looking at powering it on something completely different. Hey, thanks for watching. Cheers, and catch us later.